that last game. And starting with picks and bans, late game components coming out from both sides.
Yeah, I really feel like Millenium got everything they wanted. Red side, it almost felt like they predicted the first pick Kassadin. So ROCCAT grabbed Kassadin, but then they lost Jax and Thresh. Thresh is still, in my mind, Vander's best support. And from there on, Millenium just rounded out the rest of the composition. They had strong late game. They had champions that could split push, champions that could find picks. It was a well-thought-out pick and ban phase.
And even going back to the spring split, Millenium were one of the few teams out there that says, we can counter Kassadin. We know how to do it. And well, I guess Fizz coming out there, we saw him do some amazing big plays in that game.
Yeah, actually, a lot of big plays coming out all around, especially that one with the Thresh Lantern. And we also had a tweet coming in about that one at IADC only. Whoa, that Lantern by J-Ree was definitely an hashtag LCS big play to save his ADC and get him in the kill. Insane. We're actually going to take a look at that clip right now because Trevor, you had something to say about that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that play. If we pull it up onto your screens, I want to break down just some of the decision making because it starts off here with Creatine playing quite aggressively. Let's roll the clip out, and I want you to notice that he's in what looks like a 1v2. He knows he can get the tower, and look at the support coming from J-Ree as well as Cotnex. He's coming from the river. So Creatine is calling and telling the rest of his team, hey, I'm here, and unfortunately for Jankos, he just gets caught up by that hook. You could say he didn't believe that the rest of the team were going to be there, and that was a definite big play.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness to Jankos, he came in behind, he landed the Sonic Wave, and he every right in a 2v1 situation to take that, hit the Q, follow through, and then he was like, 3v1. And that was the start of a downfall for Jankos in that game.
The problem for me was that that happened over and over and over and over.
You'd make the same play.
Millenium just kept finding kills. They got first blood, which led to a 6-minute dragon. They then did the tower dive. Kerp then just started roaming, blowing people up. Millenium outclassed absolutely everybody on the side of ROCCAT that game.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see how Millenium have started in this one. Think of 2013 Summer Split, starting off at DreamHack, how they started off 4-0 in SuperWeek. Is the dream real? Can they follow on? They were top as alternate for 7 weeks during that summer. Let's not forget, let's not rule Millenium out because even though they had a bad spring, summer could be different.
Yeah, absolutely. And the most symptomatic, I think, is that they closed out the game so quickly, something that I don't think we've almost ever seen when it was over
Absolutely
in the spring
not.
split.
No, definitely not. And it is a testament to Millenium playing better. They have been getting better and better since Cotnex settled in. I mean, you can't deny that fact. I do also want to highlight ROCCAT played poorly. I don't think individually they did well. I think their composition took far too long to hit a power peak or a power plateau. They couldn't deal with Thresh, they couldn't deal with Kha'Zix in the early mid-game, and they sure as hell couldn't deal with Kerp on Fizz.
And back to the original point is the fact that they got pretty much every pick they'd want. I mean, a Jax, a Lucian, Thresh. Yeah. You couldn't get better than that. Cotnex on Kha'Zix was champion that he was basically known for towards the end of the split. They got everything they wanted. Let's see how it carries on.
We will see that indeed, but at the top of the show, we asked you guys at home something as well. We asked you, which player do you think will make the biggest impact on their team this split and why? And here are just some of the tweets you sent in. The first one is from @DanK92. I really think that Mr. Raleigh will be a badass in this split with a new support.
So am I. He's on Vuvuzela Lovers 420, which is my fantasy team. I'm sincerely hoping he plays well. Look, he had great stats last year. I also feel it's a little harsh to say Mixer was a bad support. It's implied. Because Mixer had great aggressive plays. And if it wasn't for him there, Mr. Oz couldn't have got a lot of the kills that he did. We'll see what We Will Failure can do, because he was also subbed out last year. Mithy replaced him, so he's got big shoes to fill, and there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders.
Yeah, very interesting. We, of course, will be seeing that duo in action a little later today. The second tweet is from @LolCanoe. Kano, I don't know. Jess's underrated mid laner who really helped to bring the team up to the summit pre-playoffs. Huge promise for Summer. What do we make of this first game?
So normally D-Man would answer, but again, Vuvuzela Lovers 420. My starting mid laner didn't get off to the greatest of games. Was ganked multiple times. Unfortunately, camped somewhat, but he made it count towards the end.
He ended up like 4-3-1, so it was all worked out in the end.
Yeah, he justified it, that it was all in the plan. The last one is from @TK's League. I think Jankos will have the biggest impact on his team. When he gets his asses and overpower going, ROCCAT looks scary. Well, that's a little ill-timed.
Well, it's a little harsh after the game. I think he ended up 0-5 or 0-6-1. Ordinarily, though, you look at the spring split, the stats he had, he was fantastic. And really, he was the man that made plays. And as we saw there, that play could have worked out well. They went 2v1, got in a great position behind Creaton. but it wasn't to be. We'll see how it works out for him.
It was only game one for them, of course. And you guys at home, you can always join in the conversation with us at LOL Esports. And remember, of course, to use that hashtag LCS. Now, have you ever wanted to assemble your own squad of League of Legends pro players and call the shots yourself? Now you can. Fantasy LCS allows you to build a dream team from North American and European players and take them into competition against your friends. Head over to fantasy.lolesports.com where you can find everything you'll need to know about creating a league, drafting players, and chasing victory as you earn points depending on how your players perform in the LCS every week. And well, that's certainly something we've been doing here as well. Heated discussions actually upstairs, but we'll see how it evolves. But now we're ready to get into game 3, so let's things back over to Joe and the Fish Show.